Ollie Watkins is the man of the moment after his match-winning goal for England against the Netherlands. But a decade ago, he was a young player at Exeter about to head to Weston-super-Mare of the Conference South on loan. His manager at Exeter was Tisdale and joins us now. Delighted to see you, and I'm sure you loved every single minute of last night, particularly that last minute. How special was it seeing one of your former players scoring such an important goal?
It was fabulous, as you can imagine. And when you engage and feel you're part of a player's journey, you always want the best for them. And just coming onto the pitch last night, I just had that feeling he was going to score. He's got such a clear mindset. He's no clutter. He knows what he wants to do. He runs forward, thinks forward. I just knew he was going to score. So absolutely delighted, as you can imagine.
I mean, he came through the academy. You gave him his debut. That was back in May 2014, away at Hartlepool. What did you see in him?
Well, at that point, it's just potential. You know, he ticked lots of boxes: athleticism and attitude and technique, ability. But talent. One thing is having talent, but then it's developing the talent and making that player selectable, so that they're able to go and take the next step. And it's a journey. So it's doing the first thing first, which is becoming selectable. So when you give a young player an opportunity, you're doing that. You're giving them an opportunity, and then it's about working out the best way to optimise their talent. And Ollie did that. You know, he's had the perfect path. Really, he's gone through the steps one at a time. He's had a really clear focus. He does it with lovely charm, fantastic work rate. But he's kept his mind clear, and that's been the thing that was making him selectable, not filling his mind with too much, and playing to his ability and playing to his strengths.
What were your very early memories of him, I should say, if you cast your mind right back? Did you see a future Champions League and an England player? You say you did see something in him.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I was in an environment where we had to produce young players, so you give them a chance. And you know, the question is how many young players have missed the opportunity because they didn't get that chance. Ollie had it. He had a chance at a club that needed to do it, that wanted to do it, and collaborated with him and his family and all the other people within an organisation to get the very best out of players. You certainly see the potential, but there's one thing having potential, but the next thing is being able to be selected at the level you're at. And I think one of the things about being a young player at a League One, League Two club, especially as a forward, is that you have to be able to affect the game at that level, which means you have to be able to lead the play. You have to disrupt the opponent. It's not perfect. And actually, that's what Ollie brings now at the top level. It's not just about the perfect technique or standing still and receiving the ball and part of the process. It's the ability to disrupt the opposition, to actually lead the game. And that's what he brings to the England side. And that's why last night he was the perfect player to bring on at that moment and change the game, because he can create something that doesn't yet exist. He can create, with his movement and his forward thinking, he could create something that maybe doesn't exist at that moment, but he can go ahead and do it. And I think what Gareth has is a fantastic balance in his squad. He has the ability to change it. And your forward line is always the way you can affect immediately. You can get a quantum shift in the way you play a game, in the way you can affect the game with the forward line. And he has some really good options there, including Ollie.
He absolutely does. With Ollie and this incredible journey that he's been on, and it has been sort of progressively stepping up and making decisions to improve his game as well. The season after his debut, you sent him on loan to Conference South, Weston-super-Mare. What was the thinking? Did you give him a particular message before he left to try and grow and develop elsewhere and get a different experience?
Sometimes development's not that complex. The practicality of being a young footballer is playing games. He wasn't ready to play in the Exeter first team. It's as simple as that. And it's a local club in the southwest with an accommodating manager at the time, Ryan Northmore, and Ollie went and played games. And let's be honest, he played there and he had lots of weaknesses in his game that he had when he came back. What he did is he created a rhythm in his game. He played games. And you have to experience things as a young player. It's not just about a textbook. It's about understanding what it's like to be losing, to be winning, to be playing up the hill, down the hill, in the sun, in the rain. You've got to experience all those things, and you build a toolkit. And he came back with an enhanced toolkit, ready to become selectable at Exeter. So it was a practical moment in time. There wasn't too much information from me. You've got to go through those things as a young player. What Ollie has, I think, you are at the mercy of the people you meet, the clubs you play for, and you can't plot. And a lot of young footballers and agents are trying to plot the journey. You can't plot it all, but what you can do is align to the right kind of people, the people that are going to add something to you with the right heart and will do the things with your interest close to them. And that's what Ollie has found, moving from Exeter on to Brentford and then on to Aston Villa. He's found the right club, and he is at the middle of it. He is the one that has the right attitude. He is the one that has the resilience. He is the one that doesn't think too far ahead. He just plays every game like it's the most important game. I mean, last night, clearly, but he plays every game like that. Whether it was a reserve game, first team game, playing for England, he plays the same way. He's the one that's made it happen, and he's been supported wonderfully along the way. He's been fortunate enough to meet the right people at the right time. And, he's just had the perfect stepping stones to this moment, in my opinion.
And briefly, I mean, Watkins said he's been pretty frustrated about being on the bench, hasn't he, throughout? I mean, what does it say about his character, I guess, to channel that into a game-winning moment?
Yeah, I think there's two parts to that. One is, of course, Ollie. I'm not surprised he's had that resilience, but also the ability to cope with it in the right way. But secondly, that's down to Gareth. I mean, he's created an environment where it's not just about the 11 players. He's created an environment where it's personal to him. You can see that. The players get on with him. The players want to play for him. And when you have that relationship with players, when you make tough decisions, which Gareth has to do, twice a week he's picking a team, he's upsetting people, he's disappointing people, he's frustrating those that are not playing. They understand that he's got to do the right thing for the team, and they trust him, and they're ready for their chance. So what he's doing is he's creating an environment where every player is relevant and every player is ready. That's management, and you can see that from a mile off, that you've got someone that the players respect, they want to play for, and if they're not picked, if they're on the bench, they are ready and they're going to do their very best. It doesn't mean they're happy to be a substitute, but just like you've seen with so many players who have contributed to this tournament, when needed, they're ready, and they do it in the right spirit, and they're there for each other. So it's an environmental thing, it's a cultural thing, and that's what Gareth's so good at.
Of England's 26-man squad, 19 have played in the EFL at some point in their career. Does it show actually the importance of this pyramid, and not just the Premier League, and the skills that it gives these young players as well?
It's essential. I mean, you do get the odd one or two that come through the very top academies and go straight into the first team, Phil Foden, and etc. There's a few that do that, but there are so many that need the competitiveness, the experience that the EFL will give you. And whether that's starting out in the EFL or whether it's dropping down to play on loan, it is essential. You have to play games. As a young player, you've got to play those games early. You've got to play them. And, I think you need 40, 50, 60 games of experiences to then build up the consistency that a manager at a top level is going to require to select you, because it's not a charity. They need you to play, to win games, to do the business. And the EFL can give those players the experiences they need. And it's about choosing the right club, the right manager. And again, it comes back down to people, relationships, and aligning to the people that are going to help you. And I think the clubs now identify at the top end, they've got to find alignments with the right clubs for their players. That's a very big part of development. And it's not just about the perfect academy at the very top end. It's about the full spectrum of experiences. And EFL teams, leagues, the pyramid, that provides it.
And Paul, finally, have you sent Ollie a message? Have you heard from him? Do you have a message for him?
Very proud of him. I haven't sent him a message. He leads a big life. He's going to have, I had 100 text messages last night, so you can imagine how many he's had. He'll get on with what he's doing. I look forward to catching up with him after the tournament, but he's a wonderful person, and I'm so pleased for him.
Yeah, he knows everyone's thinking of him, doesn't he? Everyone that matters. The result is going to matter on Sunday, isn't it? Are they going to do it? Are they going to win? Are you confident?
It's very possible. I mean, the whole tournament, it's sort of been, I mean, it's a journey, and we've done enough to win in every game, and it's a story. I could see us doing it. I really do.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to have you on this morning. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.